For our main story today, we are diving into Federal Reserve Governor Christopher Waller's speech that he delivered yesterday at the Wyoming Blockchain Symposium, positioning stablecoins, tokenization, smart contracts, and AI as key drivers of America's ongoing payments revolution. This was happening around the launch of the FRNT Wyoming stable token. The address marks the most explicit endorsement of blockchain and digital asset technologies from a high ranking Fed official to date. Some key highlights that were within his remarks, drawing historical parallels to the evolution of payment cards, from early metal charge plates in the 1920s to modern contactless systems. He emphasized that stablecoins could, in his own words, maintain and extend the role of the dollar internationally, offering advantages like 24/7 availability, rapid transferability, and accessibility in regions with high inflation or limited access to traditional dollar based systems. Waller stated that stablecoins have the potential to improve retail and cross border payments, highlighting their integration with traditional financial infrastructure through funding and redemption mechanisms tied to fiat currencies. He outlined two primary models for payment innovation that we'll dive into. The first is private sector driven, exemplified by stablecoins, where market forces lead development. The other is public sector enabled, where government provides foundational rails. You can see this as an example here, the Fed's real time payment systems, for example, to support private experimentation. He also addressed the Fed's ongoing technical research into tokenization and smart contracts, which could enable programmable payments and automated compliance. A standout commitment was the Fed's pledge to further engage with the innovators in the industry, particularly as there is increased convergence between the traditional financial sector and the digital asset ecosystem. That was sort of a pledge that he made, is that they're going to continue to lean in to see how they can support. This represents a big departure from past regulatory caution, with direct urging of policymakers and bankers to view decentralized finance as, quote, nothing to be afraid of, provided innovations align with safety and soundness principles. Broader analysis and some potential risks here. So while optimistic, Waller's speech did acknowledge some core challenges. Stablecoins must navigate risks like reserve management, cyber threats, and illicit finance, issues the Genius Act aims to mitigate through strict backing requirements. AI integration could amplify efficiencies, but also introduce biases or systemic vulnerabilities in these autonomous systems. For investors and businesses, this signals opportunities in stablecoin issuance, AI driven finance, and blockchain infrastructure. However, adoption hinges on interoperability with the legacy systems a lot of these companies are still using, and balanced regulation as we go forward. The Fed's collaborative stance may accelerate pilots, but stakeholders should monitor for inflationary impacts on dollar displacement in volatile regions. Overall, Waller's address positions the U.S. as a proactive leader in what he is calling a technology-driven revolution, potentially reshaping global finance while reinforcing the dollar's dominance around the world. As Waller concluded, there's nothing scary about these innovations. There's simply the next chapter in payments history. With endorsements from the Federal Reserve and advancements in regulatory frameworks, stablecoins are accelerating their integration into traditional payment systems, promising faster, cheaper cross-border transactions and enhanced financial innovation. You can dive deeper into all of these stories and more on Stable Dash, your single place to navigate the stablecoin industry online.